Trump isn't a fan.
You motherfucker! Alright, I have... Oh, sorry, you caught me there. I was just readjusting my mic. Welcome back to another episode of Filmatic. Nabil?
Thanks.
Wow, wow.
Very nice, Ben. Very nice. I like Ben make a sexy time with his cat. All right. Yeah, it's great to see you again, Ben. Thank you for that. I let you improv the intro, so I'm really impressed with your comedic ability there. And,
Thank you. I am the resident.
You're the resident funny guy. Really?
I'm the resident theater guy. Chill, Connor. All right, funny guy
Joker.
Connor. I wouldn't come for your title, funny guy Connor here.
So,
say another joke for us. Say another one.
So we have Casey with this other podcast this week.
Yes.
Right, and we have who is for some reason trying to do the intro himself. Okay, then we have Sam Worthington. How's it going, Sam?
Pretty good, man. I'm feeling chilled
Feeling
out.
chill. All right.
Yeah.
I like to hear it. Evan Lemolier has returned.
Hello.
All right. Then we have Manny Rea. What's going on?
You know, I feel like the Samwise Gamgee, you know? I'm always here for you, man.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you. It's always great to have one of those in my corner. And Tenzin Smith, finally.
What's up,
We
guys?
got him on the pod. How are you
First
doing
time on
tonight,
here?
Tenzin?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited. Don't know what to expect, but let's do it.
Well, there's gonna be this is gonna be, you know, we got a lot of people. It's been a long time since we had this many people. Hopefully it goes well. I think it will. Tonight, as you can tell, we'll be talking about Borat 1 and the newly released Borat subsequent movie film, delivery of Prodigious Bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan.
That's just one of them.
And
Can you go
that is
over all
true.
of them?
It's only one. So I feel like we can kind of start with the first one and then move on to the second one. That's kind of how I want to do it. And obviously, I think there will be some overlap. So, you know, if you're listening to this, watch both of them. Watch Borat 1 and 2. I think they're both on Amazon Prime. And definitely watch that before you come here. So, before we get started, anyone have anything they want to say about movies? Anything you guys see anything cool this week that you want to talk about, or
Anyone else excited for new Suicide Squad? Why are you
Only for cool new Joker. Is Joker gonna be in this one?
yeah, well,
No.
is Joker in it?
Yeah.
Joker is not in it.
What the fuck, man? He's like the craziest
Dang it.
one. Why can't he be in it?
Purple Lamborghini. Purple Lamborghini.
Ain't no mercy. Ain't no mercy.
You didn't
Yeah.
answer the question.
Manny, you know, I'm excited to see it. I guess more so than if there was a direct sequel to the other one. You know,
Yeah.
this is more of a soft reboot. With
When is it
James
coming
Gunn.
out?
Well, when is anything?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it was supposed to be the end of next year, but obviously. But yeah, you're saying that. I'm assuming, Manny, because there was some images released.
I saw some new photos from the
Some new
Empire
photos.
magazine.
Wow, Empire Magazine quote. And yeah,
I don't think that was a quote, but alright.
sorry, not quote, reference. I don't.
Reference.
And
Sighting.
reference citing. I'm cutting
Called
that out.
magazine.
Spit it out. Spit it out.
So,
That's it.
did you see any? Were there any? I only saw like there was one of them sitting all on a plane, and then like a group photo. Was there anything you saw, Manny, that was particularly interesting?
I don't know where they're going with this at all. So I think there could be potential for some good
I
laughter
think
and fun.
we can make a pretty good guess. Like it's
And-
James Gunn, and
Yeah. I'm just curious.
it's going to
see
be
how
rated
they-
R.
I'm
I'm
curious
sure
to
it's
see
just
how
going
they
to be them
handle
like
how they handle
Saying
this.
bad words.
say a bad word and shoot each other. But yeah, no, I'm like I said, it cannot be worse than the last one. So we'll see where that goes. Speaking of Joker, did you guys hear that Jared Leto will be reprising his role once again? Zack Snyder's Justice League coming to
Wow.
HBO Max in 2021.
Round of applause for Joker.
How do you guys feel about that? Is there anything you hope to see? You know, this is the first movie I think, ever where there's been like a Joker has been in more than one feature film.
Well,
so
you
this
know,
is
I'm just so excited for all the pranks that Jared Leto is going to be able to pull on set.
Yeah, I was about to say you could mail more people dead animals. I mean, use condoms.
well, here's the thing: there is no set because with this Justice League cut, it's fully remote reshoots.
Oh, it's just
and
he's just going to be
VFX.
green screen.
Yeah, well, that's what the
Yes.
USPS is for, right?
Nice. Yeah. Maybe he'll send a package to Zack Snyder.
Package.
a bomb.
He'll
Yeah.
fucking come. He'll come in Zack Snyder. I'm choking on kratom. Fuck.
All right. Yeah. We'll see where that goes, I guess. I think this whole Justice League Snyder cut is kind of a terrible, or I guess like not terrible. It's like a dirty marketing tactic that's gonna work really well. It's not fun to watch. I feel like this play out. Anyone?
I haven't really heard too much about it.
Has everybody
Besides,
voted?
Yes.
Has everybody voted? Has everybody
Yeah.
voted?
Voted?
I voted.
Listeners out
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
all three of
If
you,
you haven't
please.
voted yet, go to vote.org. Like, make a plan to vote.
It's all over Snapchat. It's all over Instagram.
All over
Oh,
YouTube
you can't
with
open-
15-second
Just
vote.
ads. Show
You can't
nothing
open
but a
Facebook
screen with
without
some
seeing a
words.
vote ad, alright? So get to voting, alright? And any other
I
movie
voted.
news? You voted?
Never
Who'd you
mind.
vote for?
I don't really want to put that on here. I don't need like
Did you vote
my
for-
bad side coming out even. I'm not saying.
I voted for Joker.
Oh, cool. You write them in?
No. Yeah.
Send in the clowns. Everybody write in Joker on your ballots. Hashtag send in the clowns.
So come
Put a prank, you could put a little
The
prank in your
clowns.
you could put a prank in your ballot too if you mail it in. So that way whoever opens it gets a nice little surprise.
Dude, they made a big mistake letting Jared Leto do mail-in ballots. Like, fuck. Oh, man. All right. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about, or should we just cut the
cut the cheese.
Cut the cheese? Who cut the cheese?
You guys remember Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs
Yeah,
too?
that's why I
Yeah, I watched it
I'm
like
going
once.
cut the
and it was
cheese.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's a leak.
I'm trying to think of another.
There's a leak in the boat. Get it? And there was a leak.
Oh.
IMDb cloudy with a chance of meatball quote.
Hot dog.
Two.
They like wood.
Okay. Actually, there's one thing I forgot about. Talk about.
Dude, what if they
Did you
called
know
it
that-
like? What if instead of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, they called it like Cloudy 2? You know, kind of like that Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of thing.
Oh, Cloudy 2?
Journey to.
What does that even mean though? Journey 2 means something, Cloudy 2 doesn't.
What does
These
Journey
two
2
cloudy-
mean?
Like you're journeying to
Journey?
something.
Oh
Like Journey to the Mysterious Island.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, you can't
Tenzin.
cloudy
It's a
to
pun,
something.
whatever. It's like Fantastic Four Stick or whatever.
Two cloudy, two meatballs. I'm saying it right here, right now.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So one thing I also wanted to talk about, there was a new James Bond movie that was supposed to come out in April 2020, which obviously did not.
And
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 and what's interesting is that it's being explored to be sold to a streaming service for $600 million.
holy moly.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
So Apple and Netflix and other streaming services are exploring the possibility of acquiring this movie,
It's like a bid
which
war.
is really interesting. This would be unprecedented and kind of goes back to what we were talking about last time.
What were we
About
talking
this
about
new
last
era.
time?
About this new era of whether theaters will reopen or not, or streaming is
okay.
going to take an even bigger hold. or if
Streaming's
it's
literally just
out.
cable.
Yeah,
It's gone in a
haven't you
cycle.
noticed that? How it's just become cable again?
Yeah, because think of it this way: the whole complaint with cable is you had to pay for a bunch of channels you didn't want, right? You
Exactly.
get packages. Now you get a streaming service, but you get a bunch of shows and movies you don't want, and you have to get it just so you can get the proprietary ones that they own.
Right.
So like it's the same thing.
Yeah, and they're becoming so fragmented where there's 10 different streaming services you might want if you want to see just the shows you want to watch.
Yeah.
I kind of hate it.
I mean,
Can anyone explain this? I passed by my cinema the other day and it said that because the New York theaters are closed, our theater's closed. Is that a sort of trend to follow the big brands or something?
I don't know.
That's a really weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand like how that would
to go watch my $5 movies.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but here's hoping the streaming wars don't take us out, us cinephiles, you know, and like going to the theaters and
What files?
cinephiles. All right.
What's up, guys? Connor here.
What's
I'm
that
sorry.
background?
I
He's
don't know.
like
just
King
wanna-
Candy.
Cloudy
So
with
for-
the
Yeah,
auto background.
balls.
For those listening on the auditory platforms, we had to switch to Skype because of some issues, technical issues, and Connor is choosing to turn his camera on, and he's fully naked, and
This is just not true.
I don't know what to do about it.
This is
I'm just
not
gonna
true.
It is
I'm sure-
true.
It's
Why are you doing this?
I'm just gonna disable his video to
Yeah, just real quick.
Thumbnail.
I'm literally not doing it.
Wait, Connor, can you hit us with a thumbnail pose? So that I can use that your that is going on the Instagrams. Alright. Guys,
Connor, wait, your dad did what with the dolphin?
oh
Oh,
no.
no.
No, what the fuck?
Connor.
Disgusting.
Poor Connor. Alright guys, let's cut right to the chase. Let's talk about Borat. Borat,
It's awesome.
cultural learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan, which came out in 2006. As we all know, it's a mockumentary comedy film directed by Larry Charles, starring Sacha Baron Cohen, and he plays a fictitious Kazakh journalist who travels throughout the United States to make a documentary which features real-life interactions with Americans. This movie was groundbreaking for comedy films and for, I think, just on a social level as well, because it exposed this underbelly of America that at the time, I think, was very shocking. So it was this combination of not only shocking humor, but just shocking material. And I think that that's really what made it what it was. What do we think?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what Sasha's good at, you know, just being so ridiculous that people reveal their deepest thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that in a lot of his work. Like I was watching Who Is America. I've seen a few episodes of that pretty recently. Good too.
Yep.
You know, but I feel like Borat just has like that kind of classic vibe to it that his newer work has less of because we've seen it before. But at the time, I think Borat was just such a groundbreaking thing.
I think what's really cool about it is that, like, I'm someone who personally I hadn't seen the full movie until this week, before we watched Borat 2, and I think that, you know, watching his newer stuff first and then going back and watching this, it kind of brings you back and shows you that this was kind of, you know, he had Dolly G show and shit before, but like I feel like this movie is clearly a turning point in him finding like exactly what like sets him apart from everyone else. Like there's no one like the type of comedian he is. The reactions he's able to bring out with people, his ability to stay, you know, whether it's like stone-faced and serious when he's making the joke or when someone else says something and laughing along with them, he makes it feel so real.
Yeah, just his ability to improvise is really impressive.
Yeah.
He can just constantly come up with ridiculous, hilarious lines on the fly in response to people saying things, you know.
I do wonder, I feel like Nabil, you probably know more about the making of the film, but I do wonder how much of, you know, so much of it has to be improvised because he's playing off of people, but I wonder how much of it is like scripted. Like, is it just kind of the intro to a scene, or?
Yeah, Pamela Anderson was in on it for the first one, and she was one of the few, I believe. Obviously, Azamat is producer, and
I feel as though maybe like he goes into a scene kind of having like a set goal to achieve, maybe, so they can further the plot. Like obviously, I'm sure they had everything planned out. They knew where they were going to be going and why. But it's just like it's such a loosely threaded plot that it's mostly just kind of built up on these, shocking, candid experiences, like with these, just very strange people.
Yeah, only Borat, Azamat, Lunel, and Pamela were actors. The rest of them was general populace.
Imagine, I don't know how they have the like the bravery to do something like that, to go in and just make a complete fool of yourself, to completely just offend the people around you.
Literally pull down your pants and take a shit in front of Trump Tower in the middle of New York. Or stand in front of a storefront and beat off to the mannequins.
Yeah, or even the more extreme ones where he really has to go he's going into people's houses and going on the dinner party. That especially must have been having to sit down at a dinner with these people and to pull all this shit on them.
Or when he stays at the Jewish bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Throws the money at the cockroaches.
Or the roadie in front of
Oh yeah. Well, I think that would probably be one of the hardest.
That's the most. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think we should clarify. Why do we laugh at this? What's the the layers of humor he's trying to get at?
Well, on one hand,
People are shitty.
All right.
No,
I mean, yeah, he's not wrong.
No,
He's not wrong.
Yeah, no, that's just pretty much the whole thing. Is people are really shitty a lot of the time. I felt like that was a majority of the movie, within the first scenes of him on the subway, and he's doing the kiss, and the dude goes to fight him and chases him out after him just from a simple interaction like that.
You know what I think he's doing is he's creating this extremely racist, horribly behaved character from what in the plot of the movie he's from a third world country coming to America to learn from us. But if anything, it's showing how similar we are, how horrible we are truly.
Yeah. Well,
in comparison.
I think a lot of people that I've heard and talked to, acquaintances and all, who are I just don't think that Borat is funny. I don't like his humor. I respect it, but I don't like the humor. And I'm I understand that comedy is subjective and you can just not like something, but I think that what a lot of people miss is or not a lot of people, what some people I guess miss is that what he's saying is purely a tool to undress people, and it happens to be funny.
I think even ignoring people's reactions, even when it's just Borat talking, his dialogue's still hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's just well written. It's just really funny and unexpected.
Right. Yeah, his ability to kind of tap into a character is really impressive. Especially with his show, what is it, the Ali G show?
Oh yeah,
he's working with at least 3 or 4 different characters who he can. I don't know. They're all so fleshed out and funny in their own different ways.
Yeah, Borat has this entire backstory that's just ridiculous. He's the son of Boltok the rapist, who's also his maternal grandfather, uncle, and former father-in-law. He has a kid named Huey Lewis, who he later changes to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Huey Lewis is the one who he shows the pictures to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's well endowed for being only 13.
And we can't forget Bilo.
Oh yeah. Well. And Natalia, his sister.
She always told Bilo, no, you can
Justice.
never get this, but then one day Bilo broke out and he got that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we all applaud for you.
Yeah, I think little things just the backstory of his characters.
It just makes it feel so
It's just so funny. Little things like that.
And another thing. Sorry, you go.
I don't know. I was just gonna kind of change the pace. Go back to we were talking about. I think that addresses the humor very well, but I think that the humor, as we discussed, is used to kind of hit some very important themes, and I think that what he's kind of getting to, and I really liked the point you made, Evan, about how we really aren't that different. We look at someone like this, and obviously he's very over the top, and he's kind of coming at things from this this very extreme country, right? Or at least how it's,
Yeah.
portrayed by
But
his character.
It's basically just like a reflection of the people in our own country. You know?
Exactly, and it's, we like to look at other countries and think so highly of America as this, gold standard, when every country has its flaws, and every country has its own flawed ways of thinking, and is human really, by getting people to open up about themselves, allows us to have insight into the ways of thinking of a lot of people, and it doesn't necessarily mean that people are shitty. I think that it means that people are just flawed, and I think that certain scenes, and I'm kind of going into the second movie also, but like his interactions with people are not all inherently bad. He has interactions in which people should not have to show him respect in any way with how he is treating them, and they still do, because he's showing with those scenes that there are good people in the world, and there are people with good intentions, despite being faced with hatred and vitriol from his character.
And something interesting that also points to the character being like a pure fabrication of a bunch of different cultural things is that none of the movies actually filmed in Kazakhstan. He never speaks Kazakh once throughout the entire movie. Like, it has very little to do with the country of Kazakhstan. Yeah, he actually speaks Hebrew throughout the movie, and occasionally throws in some Polish. Like, Jagshemash means "how are you" in Polish, and Dziękuję means "thank you" Polish.
Yeah, it proves how ignorant we are as viewers.
Yeah, well,
I
even
didn't
crazier.
know that.
In the second movie, Tutar, his daughter, speaks Bulgarian, and he speaks Hebrew. But, like, if you don't know anything about those cultures, to you it just looks like they're just both speaking a foreign language, Even though they're entirely different, they come from entirely different linguistic backgrounds. Like, the languages are not really related at all.
I also believe that, Azamat?
He speaks Albanian.
Yeah, he's not even speaking Hebrew with Borat either.
Yeah. So Azamat and Borat both speak different languages too.
Yeah, and you just aren't even aware of it because of our own biases and views. It's interesting.
I like what you were saying, Ben, about like his ability to get people to just like open up. And recently there's this YouTube channel. It's called All Gas No Brakes, and it's okay. You guys know it. I think it's kind of similar to that, but whereas this guy on All Gas No Brakes, he just kind of is just giving them the platform to speak. He's not saying anything. He's just letting them keep rambling on. Whereas I feel like Sacha Baron Cohen is like, I don't know. He finds I guess people that are just openly expressive, and he kind of feeds into it and tries to like get them to maybe say things they wouldn't normally say. But like I think it's like maybe just his ability to, I guess maybe like his charisma and ability to get someone comfortable enough to say such like crazy, horrible things.
Well, I think he also takes advantage of mob mentality in a lot of his stuff. Like, for example, at the rodeo when he was saying that he wants George Bush to drink the blood of every Muslim man, woman, and child. Or like when he does his sing-alongs, like, throw the Jew down the well, or in the second movie when he does inject them with the Wuhan flu sing-along thing. And everyone starts going because they look around and they see everyone else doing it, so they feel like they're safe.
Yeah.
And some people criticize that, and I know that like when that happened in June, like at that rally for the second movie, like conservatives were like, no, like there was no one actually singing along, which one, if you watch the movie, is just not true. Yeah. But also like they're like, oh, he's just like egging people on and like tricking them, and it's like, I think like he is toying with people, but it's people who do not, and it's not even saying like that they necessarily like, do they believe like necessarily that like we should throw Jewish people down
Right.
a well.
Well,
Like,
I'll say
no,
one thing.
but they feel comfortable enough in that situation to go along with something like that, which shows that there is an underlying problem with people's way of thinking. It's not about like pointing out these are bad people. It's pointing out that we have a flawed culture and we allow hate to fester and grow through ignorance and people just being generally uneducated.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Evan, I really like what you said earlier about basically Sacha Baron Cohen's like ability to get a reaction out of someone, like comparing it to the guy from All Gas No Breaks. He lets them ramble, and I think that's a great way to get humor out. But Sacha Baron Cohen lets like or like gets his whoever he's messing with to basically open themselves up way more and like tell directly to the like everyone what they're thinking about. And he's just so comfortable in his own character. I think that's a really big part of how he gets all of the reactions that he does. And I think he's a great like really underrated actor almost.
Yeah, I agree. I think his improvisational skills are very impressive.
Yeah, and I think that even today, I don't know if you've seen, like, he has a series, The Spy, which is on Netflix. He had this new movie called The Trial of the Chicago 7, and he does have more serious acting roles following this movie, which are really interesting because they're great. Like he's a really good actor, and but yeah, the fact that he's also so masterful in his improv skills are a testament to why the Borat movies, The Dictator, if anyone's seen that, I don't know.
I remember that.
All of those, even though some of them are like like quality story wise, like what stays true is like his ability to be really, really funny.
Yeah,
And
it's
also,
that interactive comedy.
Yeah, exactly. But Borat 2006 was, it's where it all started. I think we hit a lot of good points.
What would you say your favorite like part of the original is?
Oh, that is such a hard question.
It is.
Let's go through each person on that note.
I might need
Okay,
to.
we'll
have
start
to
with
think.
I might need to think about that.
start with Ben.
All right.
Cockroaches.
What?
Do you want to explain yours,
bed
Ben?
breakfast part?
Yeah. I don't
That's
think
your favorite part?
I think it's just because it's so absurd as well. It's so out there. It's so messed up that I definitely think in 2006 it probably alienated a lot of people. Like, this is horrible. This is horrible. Why are people laughing at this?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just funny. I don't know what to say.
Even like, I don't know, because I love all these set pieces and they're all so great. But like, just the little stuff is what really gets me. And I'm not gonna, we'll get to 2 when we get to 2. But like, just when he says like these lines that maybe they're improv, maybe they're not, but he's like, we decide not to fly in case Jews repeat their attack of 9/11. Like just like little stuff like here and there, like that's what really gets me going.
Or like when he says the government scientist Dr. Yumaka has proved that woman's brain is the size of squirrel.
Yeah.
When he's talking to the feminists, sounds so good.
Yeah.
You are
One of my favorite-
retard. Oh wait, yeah, probably. I would bleep that. I don't know. I'm pushing there. So.
You are a retard.
I think my favorite part of the first one was the fight scene and just the
yeah.
fact
Oh my god.
that so many people were involved in that, and like just imagine being in that crowd. You're just like at like just a lame ass convention. You're like, fuck, this is boring. And then 2 naked dudes come charging in through the back, fist fighting. Like that shit would be the only entertaining thing you saw
It's
all
hardly
day.
even fist fighting at a lot of points. There's so much like homoerotic stuff going on there. Like the
When they're
position
on
they
the
find
bed
themselves
and, like,
in.
Azamat's ass is just
They're in the
sinking
same
into
position.
Borat's
It's
face.
ridiculous. And he's got the sensor bar down to his knees. He's just like swinging around wildly. It's ridiculous.
I love the black, like the sensor bar just flips around all the time. And I think actually that's funny because I think the next scene, or I think it's the next one, is probably my favorite when Borat goes and gets picked up by
That was what I was gonna say. I
the,
think that entire sequence.
college guys,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the Gamecocks.
And then
no, I changed my mind.
they asked Borat if he's into sports or something, and he's like, I like to play this game called When the Snake Ate the Mouse.
Oh,
And you take a small piece of cheese and you put it in the hole of your hum, and then the mouse crawls inside.
The guy's like, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Fuck, I'll do it. And then they show him like the Pamela Anderson sex tape.
You know, those guys tried to sue Sacha Baron Cohen when the movie aired.
Yeah, and they just didn't get away with
Yeah,
it.
they
The
just
school
didn't get
backed
away
him
with it.
too.
Yeah.
There were a lot of lawsuits.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, Sacha
The
knows what
people
he's
of
doing. I don't think
Romania.
he's lost a
The
single
people
one.
of Romania tried this.
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah. They were
Here's something
upset.
interesting about Kazakhstan as a country, even though they weren't, as Tenzin was saying, portrayed, the makers and the writers did their best not to portray Kazakhstan as its own. Like, they didn't make fun of the Kazakhstani
Yeah, it's like a
culture.
fictional version.
Right. But even because of that, like, they actually got mad about it after the first movie. They banned the movie for many years and stuff like that. But literally today, they started a new campaign for their tourism, and their new slogan for the campaign is very
so
nice.
Good. Yeah,
Oh
Kazakhstan.
my God.
Nice.
Yeah, literally today that was announced. So like, and I read an article about it. Basically, like they wanted to get ahead of it this time, and there are a lot more younger people now who have now seen the first one and the second one, and kind of have those they had that Western understanding of our culture, and like we're able to tell them like, yo, we should take advantage of this. Like this is something that we can actually profit off of.
Well, I mean, I heard that tourism to Kazakhstan did go up significantly after the first one. So like,
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Even tourism to where they filmed
In Romania.
the parts in Romania went up. So
Village
at
of
first
Borat.
they didn't like him, but they started to once they started getting a lot of visitors, which is interesting. To go back to our favorite parts of the movie, I guess mine would be the part where he's in the church, and he finds Jesus and is saved. Because I think that out of all of the crazy shit in the movie, he does in the movie, it's weird and discomforting to see like that all of like this craziness is going around him and he's involved in it. But like most of that, like if he had not been there, that still would have happened. There still would have been people like fainting and crying and doing all of this. Like he didn't cause any of that. He simply walked in and played along with it. And it led to more. But I think
you also have to consider the cameras being there. People do act differently in front of them.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure like the thing that they were doing themselves, like speaking in tongues and stuff, was just
of course.
Which is coincidentally, you guys know that Amy Coney Barrett is also part of a religion called the People of Praise that also speak tongues. So
I didn't even I honestly didn't even know that was I thought it was just a joke, like a phrase, speaking in tongues. I didn't know. You learn pretty interesting stuff about my own country, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a really good point, is because people, obviously he isn't he's not any specific religion. He says he they worship the big hawk in Kazakhstan. But
I follow the hawk.
I think that it's making a point about like how we view other religions, specifically in the Middle East, Islam as so extreme and having these bizarre traditions and values. But we have extremist religion in our own country. We just choose to ignore it and look at the other as something that's
just more familiar with it, even though it could be just as extreme. When you're exposed to something more often, you don't even question it.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I was gonna say actually, I picked another scene that I really like, because Evan said the one with the USC fraternity boys. I really like the beginning when it shows just him in his village and he introduces himself and just all of the ridiculous stuff there. It's just, I think that's some of the best
I was
writing.
gonna say that.
I was gonna say
So
that was
funny.
my second choice.
I think that this carries over to the second movie, which, I mean, I'll just say it. So I think that, so, you know, yeah, this first one, like you just said, the parts in Kazakhstan are so great because it's like, it's also a way for him to showcase his writing ability, you know, because that is like a scripted part, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like you said, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
And when you get this to the second one, it's even better because in the beginning and ending of the second one, you have, you know, like where he's in prison and then he's talking to the premiere and all this great stuff that's just so funny.
Oh, yeah, and then he asks
Where
for
he can do-
Azamat.
Where he can do so many jokes, like in the second one, where he's like, "Oh, Kenneth West and Johnny the Monkey" and all this like stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's such a great way to have fun with material that he can just fuck with, you know.
Do you think they filmed those, like, kind of, I wouldn't say expositional scenes, but like the introduction to the movie? Do you think they filmed that like before COVID or like during? Because I wanted to say, like, one of the things I think the first movie does better is its representation of like it's like kind of image of Kazakhstan. Because I think I agree with Tenzin that introductions of the first one's really funny, of just him walking through the village.
Just
Well, I think the
absurd.
part-
He introduces like the town mechanic and abortionist and
The
His
school with
neighbor.
the kids, they're like guns, you know.
I think when he walks
Oh,
through the
funny.
village in the second one, it's definitely on location, probably before COVID. And then the reason probably why they lean so much into the one where it's just like a dark room is definitely like
Right,
during
yeah,
COVID.
Yeah, it's a shame because
well, because that was the big plot twist.
Right.
So it must, yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been. Right.
Which we'll get into.
We'll get into. Right.
was-
Everyone
Gypsy
say their
Kid.
favorite scenes? Everyone say their favorite scenes?
Oh, the first one or the second one?
First one.
First
Okay.
Okay.
No, I already did.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Well, I have some questions that involve both of them. So let's just move on to
Okay.
Borat, subsequent movie film. It's what do we think? I mean, what do you guys want to?
I like.
I like. Very nice.
I thought
So
I
firstly,
thought
should we give a... Sorry.
I mean you're good, man. Like you can go.
I was going to say, should we give a short summary of the film first?
Okay,
Before we
I'll-
start
yeah.
the review?
Yeah.
So Borat, subsequent movie film, delivers a prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan, which is the first title, is a 2020 American mockumentary comedy film directed this time by Jason Woliner in his first directorial debut. Once again stars Sacha Baron Cohen as the fictional Kazakh journalist and personality Borat, and Maria Bakalova as his daughter Tutar, who is offered as a bride to Vice President Michael Pence. It is a sequel to 2006 Borat, and fun facts, just reading some synopsis stuff, that in 2007, SBC actually said that he had fully retired the Borat character, and people pretty much put ideas of a sequel to rest in 2007. However, in 2019, he was beginning to get spotted in his disguise and, you know, in the midst of filming all this stuff, which led to speculation. And it was officially announced in September, with Amazon Studios acquiring the distribution rights in a bidding war. And it was released last week on Prime Video. And basically, the plot, like I said, Borat has been imprisoned to a gulag for life after embarrassing Kazakhstan with this first movie, although he's a celebrity here. And basically, the beginning premise is to deliver the Johnny the Monkey, the Kazakh Minister of Culture,
And number one porno star.
to President to President Donald Trump in order to redeem the nation and get his new premiere in with the big man in America. And his daughter plays a role in that, and things just kind of snowball from there. So that's the premise going
It's so
into
sad
it.
he ate himself.
I know. It was a good monkey. He deserved better. Did you know that they actually showed Johnny the Monkey in an SNL opening skit? I guess is what opening thing in 2006 for the promotion of Borat.
Oh,
really?
same monkey?
Yeah, he's like, this is Johnny the Monkey, and he's just on his shoulder.
I watched that, and it was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He also shows Huey Lewis who has the hair on his face, which is carried over to the second.
Right, yeah.
Pretty cool. That's another thing, like, we were talking about the lore, that it all gets carried over. It would be so easy to just disregard that stuff, with this movie, but they didn't, everything carried over, which was really great.
Oh,
Johnny
Nabil.
the Monkey
Yes.
has his own fan page. It even has a quote from Borat. He says, "My favorite television star is Johnny the Monkey. He can ride motorcycle and smoke cigarettes."
Manny actually uncovered something that I think should go viral. I don't know. Manny, what did you uncover? Something about a meme with a monkey?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm just going to say my roommate showed me some monkey meme where it's a video, and the guy's like, it's like just the two of us playing in the background, and there's a monkey eating a banana, and the monkey says, "Have a banana, darling." It's dashing, but it's that same picture.
Yeah, so basically the picture
So
they
I'm
show...
curious, who is the original Johnny?
The picture they show of Johnny the Monkey in the movie is a picture they ripped from a monkey meme from probably 2010, which is really interesting.
There's a whole list of all the porno films he's been in too. You got Transsibirsky Express, King Kram in 3D, Almighty Summer, Odyssey 1.0, Angry Snakes on Gypsy Boat, Squirrels Gone Wild, and Transsibirsky Express 2.
Nice, it's pretty funny. But yeah, Evan, you were saying something earlier about the monkey. I think you were commenting that you think that monkey humor would have been better than
female humor.
Than female.
Oh no!
Right? Is that what you were saying?
You're warping my words again. I'm not saying that a monkey is
humor
funnier
like
than
a
a
genre?
woman. I was saying that personally, upon my first viewing, this could change over time, but I wasn't entirely a huge fan of the daughter character. What's her name? Tutar. I thought she was funny, and I think the actress was very talented.
But
It's just I don't know. I just look. I'm not saying she's not. I'm not trying to compare a monkey and a woman. I'm just saying that I personally think I think monkeys are funny, and I would have liked to see I would have actually liked to see some.
I agree.
All right, how about this? I have another comparison.
I'm not discrediting Tutar from the movie completely.
Evan, how about this? Would you prefer? Okay, how about instead of comparing to a monkey, we could compare her to her, kind of stand in the first movie, Azamat. Would you prefer Azamat have been in the second movie and kind of taken on a similar role?
They're very different characters, the two. Whereas Azamat was, I mean, Azamat, let's be honest, he wasn't really that
awesome.
He was funny, and I think he was funny, really good in the movie.
He actually he had a statement about why he wasn't in this one. He said that they came to him a year and a half ago, and they told him that they were doing a project. They didn't say it was Borat 2. I guess I don't know why. He doesn't know why either. Whether it wasn't fully formed or for some other reason. They didn't say it was Borat 2. There's another project that they're going to be doing, a studio that's going to be doing, that is going to involve Borat, and they wanted him to come back for not very much money. So he said no. He said, if I'm coming back, it's going to be for Borat 2. And
why didn't they just tell him it was Borat 2?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But this is what he said directly. I watched he did an interview. But and then I guess it turned out to be Borat 2, and he just wasn't in it. But
he was kind of in it.
Didn't they say they killed him off or something? Oh no, he was.
He wasn't in it in a role.
He was killed off. He was made into a fucking chair.
A chair.
Yeah. Wasn't his penis still on it? Yeah.
Crumb.
And poor Azamat, dude.
I don't know. I think that this worked perfectly. I think I said this to a few people before, but I'll say it again now. I think that you have to recognize that these two movies have very different goals. Borat 2006 and Borat 2020, not only different goals, but a different landscape, right? So you have the first one, which is all about, I kind of said this before, I guess, but shock humor, right? It's shocking comedy, and it's also shocking to uncover this side of America that most people either didn't know about or wanted to disregard or what have you, right? And that was the goal of that first movie, and it worked well. It was very funny. And because of that goal, I think it's viewed more as that's a classic comedy film, which it is. But I'm saying it's put directly into the genre of comedy film. One, you could say it has a few more, having the social kind of analyzation side of it. I think that this one goes leagues farther into the social analyzation, specifically with many topics, but specifically with this idea of women and feminism, or however you want to put it, with his daughter, right? And I think that it could have been done very poorly. This could have been really bad. It could have just been pure comedy, making fun of it, or I don't know. But I think that what we ended up with, the emotional parts, and not only gave the story a better narrative structure to me than the first one, but also felt real at the same time. It didn't feel like cheesy in a bad way. But at the same time, all the pure comedy stuff was great. Like the synagogue scene, oh my god.
His costume that he walks in.
That is absolutely the best part of.
So cringeworthy.
Yeah, wow.
He wanted to go to the synagogue for their next mass shooting. And just wait there.
And that's an example of what I'm saying.
Couldn't imagine. Like, oh my god, having to do that, putting on that horribly offensive costume and walking in and just into a synagogue, into their place of worship, and just like trying to offend them. And like the two ladies are just so like wonderfully like they're so nice to him.
And
they're so accepting. It's wonderful.
In that situation, like he obviously has no idea how they're going to actually respond, and I think Nabil will say something good about that.
Fact check here.
All right. Were they plants? Were they plants?
No, they weren't plants, but he told one of them halfway through the scene because she was like getting upset or something, so he told her it was just a bit, and then she was on.
I think he might have told them beforehand, but like they figured out what was going on.
Well, he told them something to get them in there with a camera, but he didn't tell them what he was going to do, I think. But anyway, that's my point. My point is that this whole movie could have just been that. You know what I'm saying? It could have just been scene after scene of like, oh wow, that's shockingly funny stuff that's loosely connected by a very loose narrative. But I think that what we got was better because it all flowed very well, and you had the emotional scenes, and you had the perfect level of the two, I think.
Yeah, and the other thing is it gave... Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that's why I think that this, I'm not sure if it's better than the first one for me yet, but it's really, really close. It's really close.
I completely agree with that.
I like the second one because it provided a lot of room for character development.
Exactly.
Which we didn't really get.
Yeah.
Like going off kind of what Evan said, or like, I don't know why Evan has this gripe with the daughter character, but I thought actually the daughter character, Tuta or whatever her name is, like added a lot of emotional element to the story that really wasn't there in the first Borat movie.
Well, yeah.
And it was like just more of pure comedy. Basically, like I agree entirely with what you said, Nabil. Like I think it like basically gives this other element that definitely wasn't there in the first movie.
Yeah, and I think the movies are very different, and I think they're kind of just kind of reflecting how different America is, how different, like how much has changed since 2006. If anything, I feel like our country's just kind of grown more divided, and it's a different story for that reason, because he can't really just get away with the same jokes as well. I think,
and that's what.
Oh, continue. I was kind of just losing it as I went on.
Same too.
Well, I was gonna say that's what he said. Part of the goal is that America is much more overt about its racism and about its hatred and about the way it is now, that he can't bring it up and it's funny. It would just be like, oh, look at that, look at QAnon. People believe in QAnon.
But I do think
that's it.
Because
it's just that, yeah.
There is that precedent already, so there's room to give redemption to some of these characters. For example, I don't remember their names, Jerry and the other dude. Yes, they are super ignorant, but I think he shows in some of these characters that there's some good intention involved, that they offered a hand to this random dude. Then there's Janice, who's completely on the opposite end. There's like, she's trying to help the daughter out.
Oh, the babysitter.
The babysitter. And then there's there's Brian and that other dude at like the fact center or whatever. They're just doing their thing. There was no exposure there. It was just, I think there was more sympathy involved in this one.
I think that's a great point, because I think why I would say I prefer this movie, and like I don't think it's necessary to be like one is better than the other, but I would say I prefer this one because I think it does a great job of attacking the system that results in people thinking this way, rather than the first one, going for more shock humor to say, look at how these people think. This one says, look at the system that makes the people think this way. And I think that a good way to compare them would be, I believe that all art is political, because when you are creating art, as this movie is, as Sacha Baron Cohen is creating this character and this film together, you can make the choice to either make commentary on the current political climate of America, or you can choose to, dial that back. He obviously dialed it up, I feel like, a fuck ton. And I think that, if you say, I'm not saying like the first one stayed like in the middle. Obviously, it was making a point against still, but I think that it's a lot more powerful when you are addressing, as I said, that system as a whole rather than specific people. Like these, these college kids, and why they felt the need to like sue afterwards is because they feel like they're being attacked personally, right? Mm-hmm. Even if that's not what he was intending to do. I think that some people may take away from that first movie, oh, look at these fucking idiot college kids, and like how they think, and how they talk about women, and how they,
Are women your slaves in Russia?
But, coming out of this one, I think what I and all of us and most people will take away is how fucked our system is, that people are even capable, what has brought them to think this way, like specifically with QAnon and with the people at the rallies he goes to, and then comparing how those people, have been altered by the system, and how people such as the babysitter and the people in the synagogue react to him, and showing that what ignorance can do to people and what, love and acceptance and caring for other people can do for others. And that also drives the character, as I forget who pointed out the character development of Borat in this one, but the character development of Borat is driven through the character development of his daughter, which is driven through random people who are not. It's crazy. Like, that is the coolest shit ever to me. That her entire character shifts because
of random interactions.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And that causes the whole shift in this narrative of the movie, which, like, maybe they expected people to react in that way, and that's what drove them in that direction. But still, you can't script exact things, and like the fact that was just completely, it's really beautiful, and that's why it comes away as like almost inspiring to me. And in like such a dark time where we are so divided, you can see that there is hope, and there is good in the world. We just have to fight against that ignorance.
Not.
And also,
that was such a good joke.
And also, like, the improvisation skills of, like, the scene of the two of them in the car, like, talking about getting the surgery, just, like, going off of everything the other person was saying and, like, furthering along the character that she was in. It was really, like, exciting to watch.
Ben, I actually like what you said a lot, and I think we had talked about this before, but you, like, basically highlighting when he goes and lives with people during quarantine, and he shows them the book of, like, I think that's what happens, yeah, and he shows them that book, and they're like, oh, this isn't real, oh, like, this is, like, no, this is not what happens, and then they talk about, like, QAnon and, like, conspiracy theories, and they're like, this is real, like, we need, like, we're taking this seriously, like, literally. I think that's crazy.
Pretty ironic.
I love when you
have onions in this. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Onions.
buddy, thank you so much. That was so good. I love it. Yeah, no, I like when the plot that is much more, this is much more narrative than the first one, as we said. I love when those aspects directly blend with the movie, like with the book, for example. It's a very physical thing, like when he gives it to them and they interact with it. When he gives the book to Rudy Giuliani, he's like, "Oh, thank you." Thank you.
He looks through,
Thank
he's
you,
like,
my
oh,
dude.
this is great, thank you. Wow.
Also,
Awesome.
that whole second act of the fact that they contributed to that rally or whatever, set it up so that he can't be taken off stage.
Right.
Got the two guys to sort of even play into a script,
Yeah.
without them even realizing.
Literally, they
Crazy.
basically did lines for him, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
your father wants you back." Like, that's just so great. That's so ingenious. Like that. Instead of having another scene where Borat says that to her, he made them do it. Like,
Yeah.
But it's interesting how he did that because he made them like feel comfortable around his character to a
Mhm.
point where like they would actually listen to him, right?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
in the first film, I don't think like I don't know like how I haven't watched the first one in a while, but I don't know how like they really took him seriously. I don't know how like but in this movie, some people take him seriously and some people think that he's like normal and just like them, and that's the interesting part that Ben kind of talked about earlier is just like
Well, the other
that
thing is,
we're
sorry.
not like that different, like people aren't that different from one another no matter where you are.
I think one thing that was different with this movie that allowed for sort of a completely like new angle is that he disguised himself. So you could see people interacting as they would
yeah.
with another
Mhm.
American than, them going through the lens of talking to a foreigner. And I think that provides for a lot of different scenes and reactions that you couldn't really get from the first one of him just in his, Borat costume.
Yeah, I actually forgot
Yeah.
about that element. That's a very interesting point.
And also, like, just with the daughter being a big part of the storyline, that also introduced, like, a whole new realm of humor that, like, is now able to be put into that movie.
Right, because
I
in
think
the
it just
first one,
added-
Azamat didn't really talk to anyone. He was just that kind of supporting character. But I think in this one, Tutar was just as main of a character as Borat.
Mhm.
They shared the spotlight together.
yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, I just think it also, like, opened up the door to a lot more, like, a lot different scenarios. Because, like, Borat never could have walked into, like, that, like, the Republican convention and told a story about him jacking off. Like, he would have gotten fucking beat up and
Although,
tossed
that
out.
would have been funny, though. I would have watched that.
I mean, yeah, not wrong, but, like, it just wouldn't have gone the same
Yeah, it would have
way.
been
It just
completely
wouldn't have
different.
worked the
Right,
same.
right.
Yeah.
Or like the
Michael
part where they
Penn
go to the
is. Sorry.
when they go to the abortion clinic and they get the pastor talking to them and he talks about how the baby's inside of her and how he put it
Yeah.
inside of her and he was just trying to give her some pleasure. It was so fun.
Dude, yeah, he kept
Such a
building
funny
that
Yeah.
up until this like huge joke. I thought that was hilarious. Like
Like
Yeah.
I knew, like as soon as
he
I
just kept
saw
making
that
it
scene,
more awkward.
as soon as I saw that scene, I knew what the joke would be, but it was still
yeah.
surprising. You know what I'm saying? Like he still took it in a direction that I thought was really funny and unexpected. Just kept laying it on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, it was great.
Alright.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Rudy Giuliani.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, Rudy Giuliani, in defense to that movie, is saying what? That like,
Would you eat a
I
bat?
was still taking off my mic. Like what?
I think he said he was tucking in his shirt.
I'm gonna read his exact response, but yeah, I think
I don't
that-
know. When I tuck in my shirt, I usually stand up.
Sacha Baron
Okay.
Cohen is a stone cold liar.
Yeah, literally.
Bro, didn't he like remove the mic and still have his hand in his pants?
So she walked away with the mic, whole wire in the box in her hand, and he kept going in his pants.
Dude,
Yeah,
he
so
said
he
he's
says-
like half
he
his
said-
arm
That
was
definitely
down
wasn't
there.
him adjusting.
So his
He says that he was tucking in his shirt.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that is a more reasonable excuse, but I still don't know if I buy it.
his
Oh, I don't
I
buy
just
it.
don't like how he like grabs her when they go into the room and like
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he pats her on the like side of her waist. Like that's not appropriate.
Right, especially when
the whole time just talking to her.
yeah,
Like,
he doesn't know her age.
Oh, and she's playing it up, and she's like playing it up too, and like touching his
She
leg.
plays it up so much.
Oh.
yeah, so his official statement is, the Borat video is a complete fabrication. I was tucking in my shirt after taking off the recording equipment. At no time before, during, or after the interview was I ever inappropriate. If Sacha Baron Cohen implies otherwise, he's a stone-cold liar. In fact, the New York Post today reports, it looks to me like an exaggeration through editing. As soon as I realized it was a setup, I called the police, which has been noted in an article on July 8th.
I mean, I feel like you could say it was an exaggeration, but to say it was a complete fabrication and it was through editing, like, I don't know, it didn't look
not
that
true.
No,
It's just-
here's the biggest problem with it, is that, you know, Rudy Giuliani can say all he wants that he did nothing inappropriate, but like, and I'm not going to claim to like have come to this exactly, like, but Sacha Baron Cohen says in an interview Nabil and I watched, like, if he believes that any of that happened in that scene, especially towards the end, was appropriate, like, it's not about this situation. It's about how people in those positions of power and how possibly Rudy Giuliani has acted in situations with female journalists or people below him in lower positions of power, and how he treats people like that and uses his power and influence.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what he's making a point about.
Like,
And I feel like that's what makes it most disgusting to me, because it's like, imagine if, like, you know, this is a movie, all right? She has a whole crew with there, and she has, as like Sasha notes in that interview also, like, he was in like a hideaway spot in the hotel room the whole time, ready to come out.
Yeah.
Like, she knew that nothing was going to happen because there were people there to protect her. People who have potentially been in this situation with people like Rudy Giuliani or other people in this administration and similar administrations don't have that same understanding that they're going to be okay. And Sasha came in and stopped it. Like, we don't know where this would have gone. And it's
That's
like,
the scary part.
It's not like he was going to like let it continue, like, for content, for a movie, like, let her be sexually assaulted to show, oh, look, Rudy Giuliani sexually assaulted someone. Like, he doesn't have to do that to make the point he's making.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where people are completely missing this.
And if it's this easy for a comedian to entice a politician like this, what's to say that, you know, a foreign government can't do something like this and create or have blackmail on a politician, like Russia, you know?
Yeah.
For example, with Rudy Giuliani, it's like, I don't know, it's pretty false.
Yeah, and Nabil, talk about his daughter, the character and his daughter with the relationship to the media that we were talking about, Nabil.
That his daughter, up until like 2 weeks before Trump got sick, literally took a tour of the White House and is viewed by, you know, this administration and Donald Trump Jr. as a legitimate conservative reporter. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, she met Donald Trump Jr.
They did an interview, I think, that they filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't.
This
It wasn't in the movie though.
Was like really recent.
Months after the movie was filmed.
It's like,
and it's like she was able to get into all of these inner circles. So what does that say about how compromised these situations are?
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of good points there.
I was gonna say one thing. I find it interesting how the whole reason for that plot point of her getting plastic surgery is because Rudy Giuliani previously bragged about having an affair with a large-breasted. So that's another example of, like, those outside factors being able to influence the plot, and it still works in such a cohesive way, you know?
I like that when he comes in as the sound guy. You know, Rudy Giuliani is married to his second cousin, so he's like, you know, you should stick to marrying your cousins, like, or something. That was really fun.
And he doesn't recognize that there's anything wrong there.
Well, yeah,
and
he definitely looked heated after. He looked pissed after he said.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which means that he was just trying to fuck, but I don't know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone came in and it's like, oh, you married your cousin, huh? Like, I think as a politician or as anybody, you would get mad and get up and say what, you know, like.
Yeah, well, there's actually there's a crazy story about, I was listening to, it was an actors roundtable with Sacha Baron Cohen on it, and it's a pretty long story, so I don't want to explain it, but in like Who is America, He was trying to get an interview with Ben Carson.
Oh.
And,
Are you talking about the one where he's with like Jim Carrey and they're all sitting around? Is that the one you saw?
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, it's a great.
Yeah, I saw that like 2 hours ago.
Oh, it's so good. It's so interesting.
Have to see it.
I really
Oh, yeah,
recommend
me too.
it to anyone. It's The Hollywood Reporter. It's like an hour-long round table with a bunch of comedy actors, and they all talk about their inspirations and views on acting and comedy. And Sasha tells a lot of good stories about Borat and about specifically at this time he was like press running Who is America, I guess. But he talks about like being in Washington, D.C., trying to get this interview with Ben Carson in a hotel. He talks about like everything involved with like the Secret Service, or like he basically his cover got blown in this interview with Ben Carson before it was about to happen, and like as Ben Carson was stepping into the room, they were like, we're gonna take him away. And then they told like everybody in this hotel, they were like, be on the lookout, and he was disguised for this. And then he was like moving from room to room, hiding from the Secret Service, and they were like following him around, blocking different exits and everything. And I think that just shows like how dedicated he is to it. But also like the fact that he even was able to get that close to a actual secretary of the executive branch of our federal government is fucking insane. Like he should not have been able to get that far.
Seeing Rudy Giuliani on there even just felt fake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
I had to like convince myself it was real. It was like, whoa.
I mean, he got the very like direct attention of Michael Pennis. So
Yeah,
That too.
I'm only gonna refer to him as Michael Pennis from now on.
Ben, coming back to kind of what you said about, I don't know, it's like, I think that, well, this film does a lot of things, obviously, but it honestly shows this, like, spotlight on how, like, the, like, upper echelon, specifically politics, and the upper echelon of politics acts. And when, I don't remember exactly what it was, but when they were at the, like, ball, the debutante ball.
Oh, where the guy,
that guy,
$500,
and he's like 500.
Yeah, and his daughter reacts to it.
And his daughter reacted, and I was like, oh my god, like, and I had to rewatch it. It was just powerful because the daughter was just like, you're fucking gross, like, like, you're fucking disgusting to it, like, and it's just like,
that was
wow,
like a real moment.
Yeah, it was really real and really powerful, and kind of shows this spotlight on that like interworking and like how these people actually view their own like children and the community they belong to.
That's the kind of stuff you
like,
can't get from scripted film too.
Yeah.
I hate to take it away from Borat again, but another thing with Who is America, I just wanted to know if any of y'all have heard about this, because like it's a common conspiracy, but like he's actually so basically during the filming of Who is America, he had this segment where he was in a Las Vegas hotel and was like booking a room and was talking to a concierge, and he was talking about like disposing of like a teen boy's body or something.
Which character?
And like
which character?
I don't know which character he was.
Okay.
I don't know the full situation. That's probably true. But you know, and he recognizes like, you know, he makes that joke, and then he starts going deeper and deeper, and this person is literally talking to him about how, you know, maybe this concierge is like making all of this up, but why would he to a random person who he doesn't know is, you know, so he gets him talking about like purchasing young boys and all of this stuff. And then he reported that to the FBI and showed them all of the footage. And the concierge specifically mentions like working with actors and like high-ranking government officials. And the FBI decided to not look into it because they dismissed it as like, oh, this guy, you know, doing this crazy thing. But I think it shows he's a very like he's a comedian, but he's covering serious topics and getting himself into serious shit. And it's kind of crazy that that's like, it's a big conspiracy right now with Epstein and everything, and Kevin Spacey, which is covered
when he
in
ships
the film.
off the boys to them at the end.
Yeah, and he's, I don't know, I just thought that was crazy. Didn't know if y'all had heard about that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, there's some stuff on the show that is similar, but obviously isn't that like dark.
He didn't even air that on Who Is America because he said it was too dark and just turned it over to the FBI.
That's crazy.
Too
dark for Sacha Baron Cohen, man.
Kind of messed up. They didn't do anything about that.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I know we're starting to get into conspiracy territory, but I don't think that Sacha Baron Cohen would lie about that in an interview. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. There was like another segment on the show, kind of similar, where he was just talking to some guy, and it was on the show, where he's like, "Yeah, I need a boat, and I want to like shoot refugees from the boat, like near the water. There's always there's always Syrian refugees in the water, where I take my boat." And the guy's like telling him how he would do it, and like
it's kind of like in the first film.
Also trafficking women, which boat has the most room to traffic how many women? And, it's like crazy.
Well, that's like a recurring joke I saw in both of them. In both movies, Borat talks to someone who gives him detailed information on how to kill as many gypsies as possible. Like in the first one, he asks
the car dealership.
Yeah, the car dealership. He's like, how fast... he says, how many gypsies could I kill with this car? He's like, well, sir, that depends on how fast you're moving and like where they are. And he's like, well, and then they go into it detailed, and the guy's just completely going along with it. And then in the second one, he's talking about, like, I think, what was it, like a propane tank?
It's a propane tank,
Yeah, he's like, how many gypsies can I blow up with this? And the guy's just giving him advice about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like the trademark Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, and I love listening to him talk. I'd recommend, like, if listeners are like interested in these movies, you watch them, you listen to this podcast.
I gotta look in that.
I think it's great hearing him talk about his strategy for not his strategy necessarily, but just like how he views comedy, and it's just really interesting to hear how he, as we've been talking about, goes deeper and deeper, but why he does it and how he goes about it. Like, it happens so naturally because he doesn't know what's going to come next, so he just pushes slightly to see like what he can get out of them next, and then sometimes people just want a platform to be able to speak, so they'll just let it out. But I think sometimes it uncovers these deep-rooted, very like uncomfortable things, which like I just haven't seen anyone else be able to do. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's I highly recommend people check out Who Is America. Check out the Ali G show, the classic that introduced his 3 most famous characters. And I want him to bring Ali G back. I know that it's a little bit of a different time, but I think that you could spin it the right way. I'm sure he would be able to, like, I don't know. But yeah, anybody have any other thoughts?
Sounds like my Zoom class.
I think it'd be really funny to just have Sacha Baron Cohen come up to you and like be in that situation. Sometimes I think about what I would do if I saw that happening. And I feel like honestly, I think I would recognize him even if he's in disguise. He's pretty recognizable.
It's pretty easy to tell when someone's wearing one of those.
Yeah, especially the accent, and he just still has a very distinctive face, and I can still tell kind of even when he's in disguise, But it's like, what would you do? Would you say crazy off the wall stuff and just go along with it?
I think so.
You ever see that clip?
I think we all like to think.
There was that one gun shop. It was for Who's America. Like, obviously he set it all up already. He was going in as like, I don't know what character it was. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, you're Borat. You're Borat. He just had to run out. He couldn't do it. So.
Right.
I wouldn't let it on though. I would just like kind of, I don't know. I think that'd be fun. But then people might get the wrong idea about you though.
Yeah.
Like if you say some crazy stuff, people are gonna think that you're actually serious.
I like to think we all think we would, but I think the moment you would realize it, you would be like, oh shit, it's you. You know, I think you would
Yeah.
be so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe you could play along with it, and afterwards you could be like, "Hey, Sasha, I know it's you. I was playing along."
And then he wouldn't use any of it.
And they wouldn't use it, but I think it would still be
Yeah,
fun.
and then
though.
you wouldn't put it in the
I,
movie.
I would
Like,
still
this guy
unironically
just
just have
fucking-
fun doing that.
We just wasted an hour and a half filming with this piece of shit. You could have just told us. Our next guy.
What do you think
You
of the
let, you let
ending?
Sacha Baron Cohen like stay in your house for 5 days. And you're just like, oh yeah, that
I
was
could
fun.
use you the whole time.
What do you think of the ending, everybody?
The coronavirus ending.
Okay, yeah, the ending I thought very well tied the movie into like current times without being like too up in your face about everything. I guess is the way I would say it.
I thought it was perfect. I was
I loved
dying
it.
laughing watching it.
Yeah, it's just the perfect amount of ridiculousness, and also like I just don't know if it, like you said, it just fits so well.
I
Tom
like,
Hanks scene.
I like the
too
Tom Hanks
far,
part.
or-
It's very funny. Oh, Forrest the Gumps. Like their autograph.
And then like reusing different parts, like probably before they even knew it was gonna happen. He like goes back to like him coughing on like them like catching that like one clip of like Rudy Giuliani coughing. I just liked how like they had it fits so well because like I don't know, it's not like they planned obviously for that to happen at the end. So I wonder like what the original ending would have been. I know Nabil, you said maybe it would have had before. You said it maybe would have had something to do more with like Jeffrey Epstein because that's a joke
I
that's
think it definitely
brought up throughout. But
I think it definitely would have leaned more into Epstein, just because it fits the kind of humor that he goes for, and probably just Epstein and maybe some more MAGA stuff. You know, it's tough to say thank God for the virus, but like I think that the virus happened to work really well and made the movie probably maybe better than it would have been. Who knows, obviously, but it worked out really well.
I think a Jeffrey Epstein would have been like really funny, like an ending with Jeffrey Epstein where they like, I don't know, I thought the plot twist was really cool that they did it in such like a cool way. It was like such a short amount of the movie. That ending was just really like compact and like fast paced. But like if they did that with Jeffrey Epstein, it would be kind of funny. Like I don't know exactly how they'd tie this into the plot, but they could do like the nation of Kazakhstan like assassinated Jeffrey Epstein or something like some stupid thing like that. Like
Maybe
a
he
similar
escaped
thing.
to Kazakhstan and he's there.
Yeah, they have him in prison there at the group.
Yeah, I know,
like at
that
the
was-
beginning, they could have Borat working alongside him.
That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when he realizes it and he's like, "Oh, you saying something, Manny?
I said Fauci's in it.
Fauci. Oh, the running of the Karen. Oh my God, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was. Oh my God, I was like, I'm watching the school board meeting. Like, that was crazy. But little Sarasota joke. All right.
I think that actually does like obviously it's a very funny scene, but it does kind of bring it full circle. Like obviously I don't think there's gonna be a fucking Borat 3. I feel like
Dude,
they've
honestly, who knows?
accomplished what they need to at the moment, and I think that showing kind of going from the obviously like shocking ridiculousness of the running of the Jew to the running of the Karen shows the exact point he's making about how fucking insane American society is too. Like that is just as crazy, probably crazier because it's more bounded in realism than
Whereas
the
the
running
Jew's
of
just
the
like
Jew.
a caricature of anti-Semitic ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is how America actually is.
And this is how we're seen by so many people around the world, unironically.
And rightfully so.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
that's what's so it's masterfully constructed. It's just
Spit roast. All right. Yeah, I agree.
favorite scene from Borat 2.
Oh man, favorite scene. It's gonna be rough. Let me think.
I thought the scene when Tuta is speaking in like the feminist conference where she like
Yeah.
like talks about how she like read this book and like her father has convinced her basically that she would die if she did this, and then she just like the look of like disdain and like disgruntlement on people's faces is so funny, and just like how awkward that scene really is. But at the same time, I think it's an just ingenious comedic portrayal of like puberty in a sense, and like I don't know, I guess like feminism too, which is interesting.
I like
think-
the. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say I like the synagogue scene. It's just funny.
I was gonna say we're all. I was gonna say we're all
Yeah, I
gonna
thought
say
we
the
were all
synagogue scene.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say some other ones.
Okay.
Right after the feminist thing, when he's fighting with her in front of the Uber, that might be one of my favorite scenes.
Leading into because that's what's so great about it. It's like his lowest point in his character arc leads into that fucking scene is insane. I just found out the Holocaust wasn't real.
I got the only book I need, Facebook.
What about when what about when Tutar arrives and like the guy there's the guy who ships
So he
the
just
crate
helped her
to Borat.
Hammer back.
And he opens up he opens up the crate, Tutar's in it, Johnny the monkey's dead, sadly. And
That was insane.
and then the guy just helps hammer it back shut.
Yeah,
That guy might have been an actor. I don't know. No way, dude. No
I
way he
know, I could
actually
not
just
imagine
hammered someone into a box.
Definitely actor.
Man,
That was good though. It's kind of like I feel like there's another scene similar to that, like in the first one, where the guy gives him his telegram that his wife died.
by your retarded bylaw.
Yeah. And they were attacked by a bear, and they were violated and broken. And then he high fives him. And then I think also in the second one, there's the guy who keeps sending the faxes back and forth.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Kazakh government.
It's
Shut
just
up.
awkward,
I don't know.
this
Is
is
that
my job.
Okay, one thing that I especially loved about the scene in front of the Uber where he's arguing with Tuda is they waited until the Uber driver got there to film, made him stop, and he had to watch this entire interaction. But then they just don't film him at all. He's not in the movie even a little bit. So the entire purpose of that scene was to fuck with that dude exclusively.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
car's just a
also,
prop
yeah.
that they're on either side of.
Yeah,
And
I
that dude
think
just
He
now
is
has
a prop.
that
He
memory.
is a
He's just
prop.
what?
Yeah. Just a funny editing and cinematography choice, just to because we as the viewer we
soundtrack.
realize they're just literally standing in front of this guy's car for 5
I
minutes.
gotta say, the soundtrack, both original and the covers, went off on this.
Yeah, I agree.
When he's getting
I
news that he's
agree.
gonna get executed, and all the little moments where it's just it's so great.
Soundtracks are hilarious. I just listen to them
perfect.
sometimes.
They're pretty
Yeah.
fun. Those songs, Magic Mama Liga.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's such
By
classic.
Corky Buchek.
Oh, Bing Bong. I like
Bing
very
Bong.
much Corky Buchek. Bing Bong.
Bing,
Bing Bong.
bong. What about the debutante ball?
I didn't-
They do the period dance.
That just was so cringe. I cringed so hard. I couldn't look at it.
It was
That was,
perfect.
I think the
bad.
whole point
We were
was
watching-
to
The
draw
watching-
the
point
point
was
there.
Yeah, that's
that
the
it was.
That's
point.
what a
That's the
debutante ball
point.
is. It's crazy.
What about the plastic surgeon dude?
Oh, the plastic.
Oh,
You make sex attack on me?
Would you sex attack me? Would you sex attack me?
Your father wasn't
If
here.
your father was not here.
dude, his life is over. His life
Yeah,
is
that
over.
guy's
He's
suing,
not gonna be
absolutely.
being fracked this much.
Yeah, what? Why do you even what makes him think that that's okay?
He
to
has
say?
a
From Texas.
literally he has a camera in front of him.
Yeah, he has. There is a obvious camera in the room. I don't
They're-
understand.
Yeah, they're clearly filming. I'm sure you know.
I think he knows that, but I don't know.
Maybe
Just
he just
really
actually
lot
didn't
of-
see it as bad.
That's-
I mean, I feel like
I-
that's even less
that's what I'm
believable,
saying.
though.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. I feel like it's more reasonable that
Yeah,
he
exactly.
was an
I'd
actor
rather
where he
believe.
knew it was Sasha and he played along. I don't.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
that's
I
just
think so.
hard
I
to wrap my
think
mind around.
I don't know. I said this to someone else, but like I trust Sacha Baron Cohen enough where I think that for those kinds of things where if there was additional actors, given past projects and given the way that he is, I think that it would be disclosed in some form. If for example, the plastic surgeon was an actor, I think it's cheap. It's something that's too cheap, and for that to be the whole joke. Because when he does use actors, it's very, very clear.
It's for the
It's
plot.
a very concise purpose.
It's usually for
exactly.
the plot.
I
They're like characters.
Well, I think that maybe. Yeah, and well, I think that maybe they can. There's been instances where he's like, "Oh, we're filming something, but it's for something else." Like that's whatever. That's necessary to film. But
Yeah, but like, what could they have possibly told him that they were filming that he thought it was okay to say that?
Well, I don't know.
It's just, I'm just actually curious. Like that specific scene.
And he never reveals that stuff. Like people ask him all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's like he never reveals like how he gets people specifically to sign off on things because he doesn't want people to know how to avoid that in the future, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Makes you think, like, I wonder how much didn't end up getting into the movie. Because,
That's true.
Well, I mean,
you never know how much was
one
cut.
had like 400 hours of footage.
Oh my
literally,
gosh.
he said.
Oh my god.
I feel like
I
Borat
would
just
probably
had to, like,
has so much more. Because
Probably.
Borat, he gets constantly recognized.
Yeah.
So they
Right.
probably had to
Oh
cut
yeah, I'm
so
sure
much
that like
stuff out.
that originally they were planning on having it be a completely different way, and then
It seems
when
like
he started getting recognized, we're like, oh shoot.
it just becomes
Uh,
part of the joke of the movie.
Yeah.
How
With the bag on
impromptu
his
it
head, and
all
they're all
is.
chasing him.
Oh yeah, he's like, I realized I was a famous.
Sam is the funniest Borat impression because it's inaccurate.
Are we gonna all do our Borat impressions? Are we gonna all do our? Let's get one to Beal. Let's get one.
Jagshemash. Today I go. No, it has to be natural. It has to be. You can't make me come. You can't come.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's tough.
I'll give it to you in person.
What do you think about Jews will not replace us? What do you think?
Oh, dude, I could not believe she did that. That was probably one of the most like.
And they left the whole. I love what was beautiful. Was the whole shot of her writing it out in there. That was so like
Yeah.
you had to set it.
She
you had
didn't
to
even
set it.
hesitate. It was just did it.
And for today's giveaway, all you have to do is comment "Jews will not replace us" on our Instagram post.
That would be so funny.
No.
That was so funny.
Just kidding. Don't do that. I mean, do what you want.
Yeah. Maybe I'll even
Just do you, man.
No, but oh yeah, that reminds me. The giveaway for this week we're postponing. I realized that it's gonna really hurt my DVD collection if I give out a DVD a week. So we're gonna kind of extend it.
We can start giving from my DVD collection. Gives it back.
Oh my
Once
God. Does she still have it?
Yep. It's still in her office.
Wait, she's not there
there
anymore.
Oh, well,
Wait a
then
second.
it's in her new office.
No, that means it's in her
Just
house.
like-
brought them all with her.
Just in case Tenzin comes back for them.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you, but your movies are likely in the trash.
In the trash.
Probably,
You
dude.
think
That's
that
what
at
I'm
least,
thinking.
You think they'd at least, like,
Library.
donate
No.
them? Put them in the library.
Library. I'm gonna vote library. Definitely library.
Dude, if I
Dude,
go to
it's
the,
definitely library.
And they put a little
the
plaque
school
to it.
library,
Put a little
Exclusively
plaque.
library tier.
It's the exclusive library.
I
where
don't
you
think
get
a lot
all
of
the
those
tiers.
movies would be in the
Yeah. Why? They're not gonna just throw like Borat into the
Yeah.
school.
Some third graders
That
gonna
would
be
be-
like,
that
"Ooh,
would be
what's this?"
insane.
What's this?
If they showed Borat
Hey.
to kids in high school,
I think they
Hey
should. I mean,
Johnny, what do you?
we all watched it when we were in high school.
it's like legitimately like good social commentary.
Yeah,
political
seriously.
commentary. But, like, it's not appropriate,
when we
obviously,
First
like-
watched this in like high school, we probably didn't understand the social commentary as much.
I mean,
Uh,
whatever.
I don't
The
know.
teacher explained it to me.
I wasn't
I
that dumb.
understood.
Yeah, dude, I was in
pretty
high school
funny,
like, a
like,
year
I
ago.
thought the. Never mind.
Weird.
Thanks, Manny. All right, and on that.
I think where were you going with that?
Once again, I'm not getting canceled today. I've avoided it like a good number of times on this.
Gonna get canceled one of these days, man.
Hey, it's probably gonna be like on the Scooby Doo podcast or something.
Scooby Doo podcast. Are we gonna do a Scooby?
Look, anything is
the Austin Powers
I've
podcast.
been doing
Dude,
some
okay,
research on the
yeah,
Scooby Doo
next-
cinematic universe.
Manny, I know you're gonna rejoice with me. Next episode, we're going to do Austin Powers trilogy. It's gonna be good. I'm so excited. Oh.
Still not getting canceled, but yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, we're gonna rewatch
to
it.
rewatch
It'll be
it.
fun.
Sadly.
Yeah, let's rewatch it together, guys. Let's do a virtual.
I've never seen it. I'm
never
excited,
seen
guys.
that.
You should be too. All right.
I've
Tune
also
in.
never seen.
Oh, this is gonna be.
Fuck
interesting.
you, Connor. All right.
What happened
Nice
to the
joke.
content?
Yo,
All right.
Evan,
Get muted.
do you think that Johnny the Monkey record is at Daddy-O's in the XXX section?
You know it is. You know Daddy got that shit.
No, he has it behind.
The
He has it
Johnny
behind
the
the
Monkey.
counter.
Rudy Ray Moore. They're side by side, two best
Give me
pornograph.
s'mores by singing prostitute Britney's Spear.
78 RPM, like
This
Johnny the
record's album
record.
jacket design is by artist Alex Day, who is confirmed not to be Gypsy or Jew.
So, with the discussion, giveaway, with the giveaway extension, again, all you have to comment to enter the giveaway if you didn't last time on the newest post is to comment Jagshemash, and you'll be entered into the giveaway, which
May
is
I
still, yes, please.
How many people have entered so far? Is there a reason?
I can't, it's hard for me to disclose that information.
All right, Sasha, okay.
I can tell you that it's between -3 and +2. Right? That's what I can tell you. Which means that no one listens to this podcast, which is
Honestly, maybe it's for the better. They won't hear it. He'd be so
they
extremely
won't hear
racist.
Manny.
I haven't said anything.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, they
guys.
won't hear Manny
Alright,
cancel
alright,
himself
here's
every
the
You
single
know
thing.
what?
podcast.
This is a reminder to tune into the last podcast when Manny said.
Fun fact: if you go back 2 or 3 episodes, you hear Manny bleeping a lot of bleeps. He's not saying the F word, and he's not saying.
What did I say?
Another word.
That's when you asked me to go back and remove like 7 things you said. What was it?
What did I say?
Something.
What movie was it about?
It was an
I-
interesting word.
It's like
I don't even know, man.
it's like how you say, but.
This all
Okay,
needs to be
we have to
bleeped.
remove
Gee.
that.
Yeah. You
Whoa.
should not
Oh my
Just
God,
a 1
bleep
minute
that
long
shit.
bleep.
Bleep that shit. Bleep that shit. Alright, are we? Are we done?
Yeah.
Wow, so excited.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I think
Hey, well, I'll
Yeah, we
handle
gotta
the show.
do-
Let me handle the show. All right.
we gotta do an outro.
Hold on. So yeah, that's the giveaway, and last but not least, I want to hear everybody's rating out of 10 of Borat's subsequent movie film. I'll call on you one by one.
Can we do both
Connor,
Borat
starting with you.
movies?
Sure,
We never-
both Borat.
Starting with both Borats. Okay. The first one I will give a solid 8. Only because the second one I feel deserved a 9, one higher than the 8, but neither was a perfect 10.
Okay, and next up, let's do Manny.
Listen, so I have to be true to the scripture as I have posted. Right now, I think I have the first at a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That might change if you guys are interested. Follow me. I don't remember my name, but this new one has a 3.5.
Morty Smith lover, and you know it. Literally, his name on Letterboxd is Morty Smith
Remember my
lover.
name.
You know that's your name.
I know.
don't remember my name.
Man, he just gives in. I know.
Did you think I was gonna ignore that? All right. So yeah, I guess you could do Letterboxd. You could do out of 5 or 10. I guess you could do either. Tenzin, what do you want to say?
Okay, so the first movie, I'm gonna give it a 10. It's a movie that holds a lot of personal significance for me. I think it's one of my favorite comedic movies ever. Just absolutely hilarious and never makes me fail to laugh. I think the second one I need a little more time to digest because I've only seen it once. But based on my initial viewing, I want to give it an 8.5 because I think it was very true to the original while introducing a whole new different angle to it. But it's something that I think might grow on me over time, just as the first one did too.
Right. I respect that. Sam Worthington.
I'm gonna go and give like both of them a 9. I think both of them work really well in different ways, but if I were to like pick a favorite right now, I would probably give the second one like a 9.5. Just like I thought it was ingenious. I need to watch the first one a few more times though.
Yeah, that's fair. Ben Casey.
All right, I'll do a letterbox rating. I still gotta put it on there, but I'm gonna go with 4 stars for the first movie and a 4.25
Wow.
for the second.
That's not an option on Letterboxd.
That is not. Wait, oh wait,
4.25.
Oh,
wait, am I wrong?
Letterbox user.
There's no
Hey,
fuck. Okay, well I'll give it a
Auto
4.5.
Bro, you don't use
The
Letterboxd.
cinephiles
Dude.
win
Get
today,
out of here.
monkey.
Fuck me, dude.
all right, Evan.
Let's see. The first Borat, man, Tenzin and I have watched that one so many times together, so it holds like really.
That's what I'm saying.
It holds a lot of value, in my heart. I'm gonna give it I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. I think it's really
when I say
funny.
it's a 10,
really enjoyable.
I don't think it's a perfect movie. I just think it's a movie that, personally, to me, will always be one of my favorites, and it's something that just I just love.
Yeah.
Just kind of grew up with it,
And
honestly.
I think it's very rewatchable. It's still very funny today. So yeah, I'd say I'll give it a 9. And I think for this newest one, I mean I've only seen it once, and I don't know. It was like a few days ago. I think I should probably rewatch it again. I would give it probably like a 6 out of 10 on my initial viewing. It was alright.
Alright.
But I think after talking about it a lot with you all, especially a lot of the stuff Ben Casey had to say, I think he had some really, really good points. He really dove into the themes of the movie. And
Thank you.
My
I think,
podcast, not his.
yeah, well, I think it should be his.
Sounded so legitimately angry.
I like a lot of the things that Beal. I'm actually serious.
Wait, what did you say?
I like a lot of the things that Beal said. I think that
Yeah, rub it in.
Okay, all right. No, I really do. I like talking with all of you about movies. I think that Nabil bringing us together for this, I'm very thankful. Thanksgiving coming up, guys. Maybe we'll.
Oh yeah, you know what we're gonna be watching for Thanksgiving? Manny knows.
The Killer Turkey movie, the Thanksgiving.
Nope.
Austin
Free
Powers.
Talking about Tower Heist, baby. Come on, where you guys been?
The
Tower
fuck
Heist.
is that?
Whoa.
Shut up, man.
That was good. Manny said, "Will you shut up, man?" which I thought was very funny, but then Evan came in with that 1-2 bruh button, which kind of.
Thank you for the
Bruh,
analysis
3 hours.
But yeah, no, Tower Heist is great. We'll talk about it. I'm not gonna.
Tower? Is that the one with Ben Stiller?
Yes, Ben Stiller, Eddie Murphy. Come on, bro, where you been?
That's
is
a
like-
funny ass movie.
It's very
I
fun.
remember Cole Russ's
2011
older brother was
Tower
watching
Heist.
that once.
It's underrated, but we'll get to that another time. My rating, I was gonna do Letterboxd, but I'm not totally adapted to that rating structure yet.
It's
So
alright, I'm not either, Nabil, and I went for
Oh yeah.
Yo, Matthew Broderick is the inside man in Tower Heist.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
just gonna say.
Dude, he
That's what it says on this poster I'm looking at.
Right, Nabil, I'm sorry. Your podcast.
Your podcast.
Yes, it is. It is. My part. Okay, no, but I'm gonna say 9.23 for the first one, and we'll do an 8.76 for the second one.
Okay.
Wow.
You're like the
8.77.
Me grading Manny's biological journal. I am. Just kidding. I don't know if we have to bleep that. Who cares? All right.
We already said
Yeah.
that's
name
true.
her place of work.
Am I wrong? Was
Yeah, but
I
she's
wrong?
got my DVDs, so it's kind of justified.
Yeah, and still has my dialectical journal.
You know what, Tenzin? We should fucking kill her to get your DVDs.
Whoa.
Okay.
Well, that's a suggestion.
We
We should boop her.
I think you should
That makes it sound worse.
Honnor's dad
That
did
sounds
what to
worse.
her?
No, I think
Spanish
you just bleep both words, alright? And bleep this too, alright?
Connor, Connor, is there anything you want to say about your dad, or about anything about
Your dad?
your dad? would do
Nabil, I know
something
that it
to
doesn't matter
cut
what I
Sonny?
say. You're just gonna bleep out the whole thing.
Ben, I love how you threw that out just because you knew it was gonna get bleeped.
Thank you.
Connor,
Kind of a comedy guy.
Yeah,
the
a little
only,
comedy
the only
Joker
one on this
guy.
podcast.
Okay.
No
well,
other ones.
Now
Kind of a joke.
it's that famous time. It's time for everybody to plug if they have anything they want to plug before we end the podcast. This is your
Plug?
time. Any
Yeah.
plug? You know, if you have any
Oh my
projects
god,
or
I'm
working.
gonna shit my pants. I'm not even joking. Okay,
Alright,
Not
I have a few
I gotta
things
turn on the
to
camera for
plug.
this. I was flipping through my textbook for funsies. Look at this. No shit.
I can't see his camera. Someone tell me what it is.
What is that?
Oh,
That's Borat. That's
Oh
Borat
my
right there.
god!
On
What's the section? What's the?
I don't know. I don't care.
I can't even.
Research in the humanities. The fuck?
That's interesting. So yeah, this is your time to plug something.
All right. So
Plug-
first of all, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. More info on that later. Second, Zodiac Studios is going to be doing something big soon.
I thought you guys read
Zodiac
really?
Pictures.
Yeah.
And third, new Fish album
oh
at
shit.
some point.
Excuse me,
Do you have any?
Wait, Tenzin, I am involved in 2 of these things and had no idea of any of them.
Well, I don't either. I'm just saying. At
I
some
like
point,
it though. I like
I'd
it.
like something to happen.
Honestly,
He's just
I
name-dropping
agree.
things.
Let's fucking bring
Alright.
back Zodiac.
Yeah, exactly.
Well-
Evan, you might notice I posted on our Facebook page like a month ago.
I did not.
Something big is coming soon to Zodiac Pictures, and like a bunch of people liked it.
I'm glad you guys are reuniting live on the podcast.
We have,
Kanye West here.
yeah, honestly.
Something big is coming.
No, I was just on my Facebook page and I saw the Zodiac Pictures page, so I was like, oh, this will be funny, guys.
I like how it gets random likes from just like people. I don't even know.
Oh no,
who
I
is-
said Zodiac Pictures will return. That's what I said.
No, dude, I have a
posted that
Facebook.
on September 30th.
I'm a mod on 2 clubs from Pineview, like Facebook pages, like SWAT Club and Pineview Heart to Heart, and I get notifications on Facebook every week. Literally, at least 3 random people like those pages.
Yeah. It's
And I'm like,
so
why?
strange.
That's so weird. Like,
It's the Russians or something.
Bots.
it has to be. It just has to be bots. It has to be bots.
Tenzin, your post had 1 like, and it's by Zodiac Pictures.
Oh yeah, I just like once I realized it had no
Got a
likes.
bunch of likes, bro.
No, I
You got a bunch of likes.
yeah, I thought it had a bunch of likes, but then I checked and it had none. So I just like
This is
lying.
This is the equivalent. This is the,
nationally broadcasted.
Damn.
I say, man, I should become a politician.
So,
this is the equivalent of Manny going, yeah, what's my letterbox name? I don't remember. I had 2 great moments. All right, Connor, is there anything you want to plug?
Everyone go on Facebook.
Connor
follow
plug.
Zodiac Pictures.
Connor Park plug.
Zodiac
Asshole.
Dude, wait, Tenzin, the
Yeah.
the
Um,
URL that we have for the Zodiac Films website is now a porn website.
No
It's called
way.
girlsandtheir.webcam. But it doesn't actually bring you to anything. If you just click the link on the Facebook page, it brings you to that.
Their web. I have to renew our domain name. That's why I think someone else might have done it because it expired.
Yeah.
Plastic
Guys,
don't
Zodiac
go to- don't-
Films is now a porn website.
Don't go to filmatic.com. Don't go to filmatic.com.
Oh, wait, what?
I'm only doing it right now.
It's not actually bad. It's
Oh,
just
there's a-
weird.
Picture here. It's got Connor, me, Justin, and Evan in it.
No, this is just some pipes and
This is awesome. What the?
what
It's
is
like
it?
a
Filmatic
Denmark
turnkey
subsidiary.
filling solutions.
Yeah, what
Tyler.
is this? What?
It's Filmatic.
Pick your
packaging.
industry.
Yeah, guys,
Average.
we're actually
Scary.
It's just a bottle packaging plant.
Nice.
a front for a bottle packaging plant in Denmark. They actually just allowed me to do this to keep up the
A
front and get money
subsidiary
flowing
of
in.
the Trepco group of companies.
All right.
It's some extra cash.
Podcast. Fucking, I forget the time. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
that's actually this podcast sponsor.
All right. Any more plugs? Do we have any more
We
plugs?
have like 5 minutes of shit to cut here. This is
No, we're not cutting any of this.
Actually, the closest one is in Charleston.
All right, see you guys.
Oh.
Come on, does anyone have anything to plug or not?
Can we just plug Filmatic on
nothing to plug,
Instagram?
bro.
Not like our Filmatic, but
Okay.
the other Instagram account.
As long as no one
Filmatic.
else has anything to plug.
Okay, all I'm saying is
I'm gonna make Evan
Filmatic?
do the outro.
Okay.
You know how Daddy05 makes the kid do the outro? Making you do the outro. Evan.
Oh, where you like the crying kid has to be like.
Yeah, and if you say the wrong social media, I'm gonna yell at you.
Oh
So
wait,
be
okay,
careful.
okay. What is
Don't ask
Alright,
me.
you gotta tell
Just
me what
it.
to do as it goes. No, don't you tell me what to say as like.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, plug the podcast, Evan. Plug it up
Follow Filmatic Podcast
on Instagram.
On Instagram,
At
on
Filmatic
Facebook,
Podcast.
on Twitter, on
No, not
MySpace.
Not Twitter.
Make sure to like on Spotify and Apple Music.
Double podcast.
Please like and subscribe, or else Daddy's gonna come back. Daddy's angry.
You heard it here first. Thank you, everybody, for being on this podcast.
Thanks for having me on. I had a good time.
Might be the worst one yet. Just kidding. Come on, tough crowd. Everyone just like, yo, that's the worst podcast.
I was like laughing.
Me like.
I mean, I have nothing to
I mean, we're on a 30-minute outro at this point.
Yeah.
10, 9,
Look, they want this stuff. So
They do. Sophia Martinez told us to be funny.
told me she wanted this.
All right.
Don't quote me.
She wanted this.
But
Why did you want this?
she said the funny words were only good for fun.
Oh, okay.
We should go.
Exclusive, dude, on Spotify. That'd be like
You're right, I
really
should get a
good.
deal.
Yeah, where's our Spotify deal?
I don't know, man.
Put your
It's
hand
coming.
down.
So,
Yeah.
no. Thank you, everybody, for being on the Borat podcast. I'm excited to see you all for the Austin Powers one coming up. And then Swinging 60s Babies, here we come.
Swinging 60s babies. Here, let me.
It's 60s, baby.
And like Evan said, follow Filmatic Podcast on Instagram and do the giveaway.
In three. Everyone in 3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.